Hello, hello, lovely, happily committed community. Coach Adrian coming live today as promised to provide you with a little bit of boost, a little bit of positivity, and some guidance because I know that many people out there, many couples are struggling with the quarantine and this new coronavirus reality. And so, at least once every couple of weeks, I'd like to come on and to provide you with some guidance, to provide you with some tools and tips to help you navigate this new reality and to ensure that you have the advice and the guidance that you need at this time because it is an unprecedented situation. So, first things first, I hope that you are doing okay. I hope that your family and your loved ones are doing okay. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Health is our main priority, and that you're also staying home to make sure that you're protecting the healthcare professionals in your area and those people that would want to be home but that can't be home. So, for those of you who are tuning in, for those of you who are live, please don't hesitate to write in the chat where you are and how you're doing. I see Chloe in Baltimore. Thank you, Chloe, for the love and the positive words. I love you too. And Wei Jen, who says hi from San Francisco. Lizzie in London. Thank you, guys. Kevin as well. Thank you for tuning in today. I think that this is going to be a very interesting and informative YouTube Live. A lot of the clients that I work with are asking questions about ways to rebuild an emotional connection, especially when you're not together. Because many of the clients that I am working with, especially those that are trying to get back with someone that they love and lost, are not in the same physical place as the person that they love. And a lot of clients don't know what to do. How can you ensure that you're building the type of relationship that you want? How can you make sure that you don't make too many mistakes when there's this quarantine in place? And so I wanted to talk about different things today. I wanted to talk about how to make someone miss you. I wanted to talk about the do's and don'ts of healthy communication. I also was hoping to talk about how to maximize communication when you can't see your significant other, and also how to rebuild an emotional connection from afar. So those are the topics that I'm hoping to cover. And at the end, if we have time, I will open it up for questions and Q&A as I like to do always. So disclaimer, I am home. If you hear my kids in the background or my wife screaming at them because she's doing everything she can to keep them calm, I'm sorry. This is just the reality of the moment, and you'll have to make do. Can you guys hear me okay? Karen says the connection is bad. Is it your connection or is it coming from my end? Just say yes if you can hear me okay, just so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. And hello to all of you guys that are tuning in at the moment. So, perfect. How to make someone miss you. So that's very important. No matter whether you are in a relationship or whether you're trying to get back with someone you love, it's about finding balance. It's about finding balance, guys. That's what I want you to be thinking about. And finding balance between, for example, being a challenge without being too detached, right? So to make someone miss you, you have to make sure that you're a challenge, that you're not just reaching out to them all the time. Otherwise, there's no scarcity. There's nothing for them to chase, in essence. But you don't want to go to the extreme and be too detached and not communicate with them at all. You also want to find a balance between being compassionate and having empathy and not be a doormat. We're in unprecedented times. And if you're thinking just of yourself and your feelings and emotions, this person is not going to miss you. But if you're a doormat and you're only asking them how they're doing and always available, they're not going to miss you as well. Another thing that I want you guys to be thinking about is just not being too available, right? You need to be available, but not be too needy. And that's a very difficult balance to strike for everybody. But if you're bringing yourself to account, if you're asking yourself these questions, evaluating the way that you're communicating and how you're doing, I believe that you will continue to kind of grow and to evolve, and this person will miss you. You have to be confident. Someone will not miss you if you're insecure, but you don't want to go into the extreme and be arrogant either. And that's something that is very, very important, because the process of attraction, one of the pillars of the process of attraction, as you know, if you've been watching our videos, is confidence. So make sure that you're thinking in terms of confidence and acting confidently, and also that you are bringing yourself to account in that sense. To make someone miss you, you also have to surprise them. And you want to surprise your ex or the person that you love that's in a remote place without putting them on a pedestal. It's not about always doing everything for them, but being able to keep them on their toes and do little things that they don't expect. That's what creates attraction. And that's what's going to make this person yearn to continue want to engage with you and to do more activities or more, FaceTimes or whatever it is that you guys are doing when you do communicate. And it's also important to be able to connect about the past, shared memories, and powerful experiences that bind you guys together without rehashing the past negative behaviors and mistakes that have occurred. Someone who is constantly apologizing or someone who is constantly talking about their past mistakes is living in the past and not letting their significant other basically be in the moment and create a new reality and to miss you. So ultimately, though, you have to make sure that you have exciting things to look forward to, and you have to do that without making them a priority, without making them feel like they're the only priority in your world. If you do that, the odds are that this person that you love will miss you and will want to continue to engage with you. So talking about the do's and don'ts of healthy communication, especially at this time, right? And I think that it's very important for you guys to keep a list of these things and something that you can look at as you are communicating with your significant other on a regular basis. So as we talked about, you don't want to make it about the past, okay? If they want to talk about the past, especially if you're trying to mend your relationship, let them. But I don't want you to be the one to constantly rehash the past. You have to have empathy. You have to be an active listener, but you don't want to be the one constantly living in the past. You don't want to put them on a pedestal by putting yourself down. This is a common mistake that I see. A lot of people learn a lot. Their emotional IQ becomes a lot more significant, and they start to become so self-critical because you're only looking at everything that you did wrong. And by doing that, you're putting them on a pedestal and you're killing the attraction process. So that's not something that you want to do. And you don't want to act like your life is incomplete without them, or as if he or she is your savior. This is another common mistake that people do, especially when you're very, very vulnerable. Your partner or the one you love all of a sudden becomes the center and the focus of your world. And it becomes way too burdensome for them. They cannot live up to that expectation, and they're not attracted to you because it's a basic, again, concept of supply and demand. You're overwhelming them with love, attention, affection, and so there's very little for them to fight for, okay? So you don't want to let your feelings and emotions dictate how you communicate. And that is probably one of the most difficult things that I'm going to share with you today. Because when you're emotional, you want to communicate. You want to resolve the issues right away. And that's something that you also should not be trying to do. Don't try to resolve all of these issues and frustrations right away. Because when you do that, you're pushing your significant other away. Okay, so those are all of things that I don't want you to do. Instead, what I want you to focus on when it comes to healthy communication is first and foremost to focus and to talk gratitude. You have to practice gratitude. And I want you to convey that gratitude to your significant other. If you're grateful, and we all have things that we can be grateful for just having a roof over your head, for being healthy, that your family members perhaps have not been affected, that you have food in your fridge, that you have toilet paper. If you can show gratitude, you're going to uplift this person. We are attracted to people who are positive and who make us better. And we run away from people who bring us down, even if they're bringing us down by showering love upon us. Sometimes it's too much of a burden. So instead, think in terms of gratitude and convey that to your significant other, obviously in an authentic way, right? If you don't do it in an authentic way, it's not going to work. So you want to show that you care about them. You want to speak their love language, okay? And make sure that you're being there for them in some ways. And make sure that you get them to talk about things and people that they value. People love to talk about things that they care about. Don't make it about you and the things that you want to talk about and your values. When you're trying to communicate with someone, make sure that you can get on their level and that you can basically get their attention by communicating with them on things that they just want to talk about. Try to understand the emotion that your significant other is trying to convey and make it a habit of validating their feelings and emotions. This is what I want you to be thinking about. I know I threw a lot at you, but that's the point. I know that you guys are coming live. It's to learn, and I'm trying to do a rapid fire of some of the tips and the advice that I give in a tailored way to my clients during private coaching sessions. So those are the tips, the tools in terms of healthy communication. Thank you guys for all of the positive messages and for all of you that are tuning in at the moment. We're not done yet. I still have more stuff to share with you guys before I open it up to your questions. I also, because it's quarantine, because a lot of people are under serious financial duress, I spoke to the team at WMEA, and we have a special gift for you again. I'm going to try to give you a small gift every time that I come on here to try to lift your spirits. So if you stay till the end, you're going to find out what that gift is. How to maximize your communication with your significant other when you can't see them. This is one of the questions that keeps coming up during my coaching sessions. And it's not easy. And all of a sudden, a lot of people they find themselves in a long distance relationship or a long distance breakup recovery, even if you live in the same city as the one you love. And so a few tips for those of you who are finding yourself in this situation. I want you to think in terms of quality over quantity. Focus on substance and added value rather than in terms of just generic small talk conversations, because we don't know how long this situation will be in place for. And you don't want to make sure that you kind of wear each other out or that these things get plateau or become boring. So think in terms of quality of the interactions instead of saying, hello, good morning, how are you? How was your coffee? Good night, what are you doing? These types of flat messages won't necessarily help you to maximize the bond with your significant other. Again, like I said, when I was talking about gratitude a second ago, you want to be positive. You want to make them smile. And you want to leave them wanting more. And this is all I'm giving you. Every piece of advice that I'm giving you, by the way, are things that you can control. This is our philosophy. I'm only working with you, not with your significant other here. And you're in control of your emotional destiny. If you take accountability of yourself and your actions, you will have the desired results as long as you're patient and you let things play out. So being positive, making your significant other smile, and leaving them wanting more is something that you can do. It's mindset and it's discipline. That's what I'm preaching to you right now. So once you're able to do those things, you also, of course, have to take them into account. This is a relationship. We are social beings, right? And when I say taking them into account, I mean develop the art or the skill of being able to see things from their frame of reference. You need to be able to get into their shoes and see a given situation through their eyes, feel what they feel, understand what they understand, so that you can then start to meet their unspoken needs. Many times, mistakes happen during breakup recovery or when you're in a committed relationship because you are caught up in your frame of reference, your feelings, your emotions, your pain, what you want, what you are trying to convey to your significant other. And you stop basically interacting with them. You're just caught up in your ego and in your own self. And that's not how you can maximize communication. That is not how you can rebuild a healthy relationship. You have to develop this skill and this ability to see things from their point of view. And that's basically all that our videos are about, developing your emotional IQ so that you can meet their needs. I hope that all of this makes sense. If you're still with me, please let me know again in the chat. Just say yes or make sense or something like that so that I know that you guys are following me and I'm not going too fast. Okay? So thank you, Brian. So this is how you maximize communication with a significant other at a distance, even if you guys are far, far away, or even if you're quarantined. All right. Now, for the last topic that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about how to rebuild an emotional connection from afar. It's one thing to communicate effectively. It's another to rebuild an emotional connection. And many of you struggle with this because it's difficult. It's not easy. You don't know what to say, what to do, when to say it. Should you be, should you be in radio silence? Should you give them space? Should you communicate with them? It's difficult. It's overwhelming. And there's so much information on the internet, even on our channel, because we've covered so many topics and every situation is unique. So I'm going to basically share the many ways by which you can rebuild an emotional connection. And as always, I invite you to take a supermarket approach, meaning when you walk into the supermarket, you don't buy everything you see on the shelf. This is a common analogy that I love. You only take what you need for the meals and that your family needs. So I'm going to give you different, groceries, list of potential things that you want to be thinking about. Apply them to your reality. Use your brain. You are definitely a lot smarter and wiser than you realize. You don't give yourself enough credit. If you're watching our videos, if you're on this live chat, it means that you're putting in work, you're putting in effort, you're educating yourself. So trust yourself more. Don't get overwhelmed by information and then not act. Okay? So how to rebuild an emotional connection from afar? The first thing is something, again, that we talked about, but I'm going to harp a lot of these themes because they're important, is by being positive. You will not create an emotional connection with someone if you are negative, if you're emotional, if you're vulnerable, if you're upset. You have to be positive. That attracts someone to you. You need to have empathy. If your significant other or this person is feeling frustrated and you're able to meet them in that feeling and emotion and show them that you understand that feeling and emotion and validate them, they'll feel connected to you. They will feel like you understand them. And many people, unfortunately, are unable to put that in place because we're all caught up in our ego and our desires, like I was talking about. So the skill of having the ability to empathize and to validate their emotions is, I can't tell you how important it is. You will no longer start to have fights, conflicts, arguments with your significant other if you develop this skill. Because once you empathize, once you validate their emotion, no matter what it is, even if it's, I don't want to talk to you, please give me space, then there's nothing else to fight about. If you tell them, yes, I understand, it's true. I've been very needy and, I'm going to respect your need for space. Just take care of yourself. What is there to fight about at that point? So very important, you can create an emotional connection even by pulling away. if you have a plan, if you're coherent in the way that you're approaching things. Now, one thing that I just got off the phone with, I was in a coaching session with a young man in Bulgaria right before I did this YouTube live. And this young man really surprised me because he very quickly understood all of the mistakes that he had been making. And in just a short amount of weeks, he basically transformed his life. And I think he's changed more in the last 2-3 weeks than he has in the last 10 years of his life. And many of my clients have these aha moments and change. And the one thing that I did warn him, though, was to not overdo it. Don't be the person that your partner, your ex, wanted you to be. Okay? If you do that, you're going to be needy. You're going to put them on a pedestal. You're going to put them as the center of your world. Instead, focus on being your authentic self. And your authentic self means your higher, better self, your best self, the best version of you. Because the best version of you will inevitably meet a lot of the criterias and the needs that your significant other has. That's why they're with you. They saw the light. They saw the best of what you had to offer. They fell in love with that potential. So instead of being reactive and needy and being the perfect person that they wanted you to be your authentic self right now, consistently for you. And you'll see how you're going to be in control of your emotional destiny. And this person that you love will start to react to you because it'll be true. So that is one of the best nuggets that I can give you. Obviously, theory and practice are two different things. And sometimes we need someone to keep us on track. We need a coach, or we need someone that has perspective and that keeps us on track. And that's why I invite you to watch these videos and to continue to be accountable to yourself or otherwise. And so I don't want to digress. Now, how to rebuild an emotional connection from afar. We've talked about it. Make them smile. Inspire them. Leave them wanting more. And help them visualize a future in which you can be happy together. Not by conveying that through words. I want to do this. I want to take you there. We're going to do this. That's flat. But by talking about things that you are excited about in the future with passion, with excitement, things that you're looking forward to, having plans. That's how you can basically help them visualize a future in which they're going to be happy with you. Okay? All right. I gave you a lot. I want to open it up for questions, but first, I promised a gift, and this is something that is really dear to me and to all the other members of the team. This is a link. All of our products, everything that we've ever created, is 50% off, or you're going to get some type of discount based on any product that you want. You can go crazy and get everything. You can just get one thing for $17 based on what you think you need. But every product that we've ever created on With My Ex Again, that's XBack related, is going to be 50% off. We also have an infidelity product, an insecurity product, and other products that we've done on Happily Committed that I invite you to go check out. We don't have a discount on those at this time, but they're there. And why are we doing this? It's because I realize that a lot of people are losing their jobs. And I realize that we're in a very difficult time at the moment. And we just wanted to make sure that we're there for you. We don't want money to be the reason why you don't get to where you want to be in love. And so that's our commitment to you guys. And if you have any questions in that regard, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you check out this link, you'll have access to some sort of discount, a big one for any product that you want. Okay? So that's for you. I'm going to put that in the description below as well. Gratitude. We're grateful for you guys. And that's how we're trying to show it, by taking action and giving you access to whatever you guys need at a price that you can afford it. Like, again, as I said, I don't want money to be the issue. where we all have enough to worry about at this time. So, whew, that was a lot. That was a mouthful. If you have questions, now is the time. Please be patient with me. I'm going to do the best I can to address as many as I can, and and yeah, for as long as I can. So, all right. How to avoid getting friend zoned. Win J. Texting and call with an ex from a distance during the quarantine. Very good question. A lot of people are afraid to be friend zoned. And I actually just spoke about this with my client from Bulgaria about 40 minutes ago. So being friend zoned is a lot more difficult than you realize. And when you fall into the friend zone, it's because you yourself allow it to get there. Just because you're on friendly terms, just because you're checking in on each other, doesn't mean that you're just friends. If you're doing all of these things that we talked about, you're going to maximize your attraction power, and your significant other is not going to want to be just your friend. They're going to want to make sure that they don't lose you. So by being your best self, by that authentic self that we talked about, there's no way that this person that had feelings for you is not going to all of a sudden not want to be with you, because you'll be the person that they fell for, not the one that they broke up with. And even if you feel like things are not going well, you're still in control. You can pull away, or you can flirt, you can escalate things. And so don't be afraid of falling in the friend zone. Fear is preventing you from getting to where you want to be. Be bold and have confidence in what you offer and in what you bring to the table, Ouija, and all of you others who are afraid to fall into the friend zone. Okay, Karen's breakup recovery question. We broke up 5 months ago. We have been talking. Started no contact 7 days ago. She's in an unofficial relationship with a guy for 4 months. Is it a rebound? And is no contact right? Okay, very specific. It's difficult to say if it's a rebound. I need more information. Depends on how long you guys were together. Depends how the breakup occurred, for what reason. Depends who, how, when they started to date and why. So I invite you, Karen, to book a session with me if you want. If you cannot, use it, take advantage of this discount. One of the products that you'll find there is my 10-step plan to get him back. It's an 1.5-hour audio seminar. You're going to get 50% off, I believe. It's going to be like $20, and you're going to get answers. And you're going to be able to take that supermarket approach and take control of your breakup recovery. David Martin. What do I do about contact if she's in a rebound relationship? We have been silent for 50 days. All right, David, same as Karen. I think that product will definitely help you. With the coronavirus, it's a good time to check in on this significant other. Even if they're in a rebound relationship, it's okay to just ask, hey, how's your sick grandmother doing? I hope that she's safe. Or, hey, I hope that you're taking every precaution and that you're staying safe. Thinking of you and your family. That's not inappropriate at this time. We're living in unprecedented times, and reaching out just to check in, as long as you didn't, completely blow it before, is okay. Okay. I'm Ugo says, things to do while in quarantine or topics. Recently got back with my ex, thanks to you guys. Awesome. We're happy to help. It's just part of the journey. That's why we created Happily Committed. We have so many resources on this site. It's quite amazing. And I encourage you to go there. There's this YouTube channel, but there's also a website with a blog, and we give you all sorts of tips to keep your relationship interesting and fun. Okay. Now it's a tremendous opportunity. Most people have more time on their hands, and they're able to use this time to do things that are interesting. And I encourage you to check out the blog, because we talk about it quite a bit. Okay, Adam says, my ex currently is dating someone and has recently unblocked me on Insta. Should I reach out to my ex through there? Yeah, if she unblocks you there, go for it. I think that this may be the right platform for you. Okay, I lost my there's so many questions. So, okay. Um, Lizzie Hudson wrote the letter. He replied, he loves me, but feels it's irreparable. We broke up because I was very insecure. How long do I leave it? I want to contact as a friend during the time. Okay, so we have an insecurity product on Happily Committed. It's $39 or $37, I think, something like that. I think that will really help you to fix your insecurity issues. He says he loves you, but it's irreparable. Give him space, right? Show him that you are, in fact, confident, that you are more distant. That's how you prove your change, by showing him that you're not that insecure, needy, emotional person now. You send a letter, let it be. Your words are there. He'll come back around. Okay, he'll come back around. Just have faith in yourself, Lizzie, and continue to work on being more secure and on taking action to show that, to prove that to yourself. That's part of being your authentic self. Um, okay, okay. My English tutor and I, Michelle, we agreed no contact and we keep breaking it. The last time was me messaging him and I am having counseling but can't seem to stay focused on me. Please, can you give advice? One day at a time. One day at a time. So many people reach out to me and they're like thinking in terms of, how long am I going to need to do no contact for? And it's overwhelming. Just this idea of not talking to someone that you love for an extended period of time is overwhelming. But you can do one day. You can do one day. Commit to just not contacting him today. At the end of the day, assess how you did, what you could have done better, what did you struggle with, and commit to not reaching out to him again the next day, right? One day at a time. I often talk about focusing on the process, whatever it may be, instead of the end result. Because if you focus on the end result, every day is a day that you're not there and it drives you crazy. But if you're focusing on the process, every day is a day that you can celebrate small victories. So focus on the process, small victories, one day at a time, and bring yourself to account each day at the end of the day. That's relevant for you, but it's relevant for a lot of other people who are engaging in this process of personal development for one reason or another. Andre says, is there anything I can do to get my wife to talk about anything but business? How can you make your wife smile? What can you say or do that you think will make her smile? Without being needy, without going overboard? Sure, of course you can. It's up to you to, be confident enough to try to basically change the conversation and the topic. And, if you're conveying positivity and well-being, if she sees that you're doing good, at some point, she's going to want to know what's going on. So everything that we talked about here applies. Victor says, I texted my ex, but didn't text it back, but she did not text back, I am imagining. What should I do? Wait. You don't want to bombard. You don't want to come off as desperate. If there's a reason why this person did not reply to you, give it time. Okay. Jessica says, how do you get an ex back that is saying they're emotionally unavailable after you've done no contact? Got them back briefly, but then they pulled away even though they tried to be friends. So I think that, again, there's so much that could be said about that. I could make an entire video on this question, and I would love to be able to work with you one-on-one to provide you with that tailored plan that you need. It's possible that the person that you're with is experiencing existential issues, that you are not the issue, that they need to fix themselves, and that you are trying to go too fast. And if they're not ready if they're not at peace with themselves, and if they're not ready, there's no way for them to be in a healthy relationship with you. Perhaps that you are also trying to go too fast, and you're so caught up letting your emotions get the best of you and trying to rebuild this relationship that you're not ready also to start to engage with them and to create a new relationship. So you're probably continuing the old relationship in some way, shape, or form, instead of getting the clean break that you need and starting a new dynamic. I want you to think in terms of starting a new, fresh dynamic and the process of attraction and seduction that comes with that, rather than on trying to fix the old relationship. Okay, that's going to be I think very, very good for you to think about. Someone has asked me to put the link again of the products, the discounts. It's there at the bottom of the chat, so you can check it out whenever you have the chance. Vikash says, when should I send the accountability letter? It depends. Depends on your situation. It depends on how you feel. Depends on how long the relationship was. We have a product called The Perfect Letter on that link, and it's going to be under 20 bucks. Check it out. I think that you'll have answers there so that you can apply the advice to your very situation. Wow. Kunal says, my ex broke up with me and got engaged with other guys. She came back and again went to him. Back due to parents' pressure. Should I contact her or not? It seems that it's a quite complicated situation. And I think there might be cultural implications here, arranged marriages and things of that nature. If that is the case, you're in a unique situation. So I really encourage you for us to talk about it. But don't put pressure on them, okay? It's okay to reestablish a healthy dialogue, to let them know you're there, to, again, show them the best of what you have to offer and what the relationship could be. But don't pressure them. You're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with yourself to be that best version of you. Okay, Andre, I've asked her how she's doing and if she's safe and she just ignores me. Give her space. Give her space. You can't force someone to engage with you. That's not what you want to do. Okay. So there is Adrian says how to connect with an ex. How? The question is how? So you have to make sure that you do so in a way that's easy for them to engage with you. You cannot be burdening them with the past, rehashing the past, or communicating, engaging with them in a way where they feel like you're trying to, go from 0 to 100 and to get back together. That's not going to work. Baby steps, A to B, B to C, C to D, right? So small interactions for you may be best, and then see how things evolve from there. Don't talk to them about getting back together right away. Give it time to eventually get there. Ash says, my long distance ex has been reaching out more since quarantine started. Convos have been fun and light. How to build emotional connection when they seem fairly guarded. That's everything that we talked about, Ash. I hope that you were paying attention. I hope that you're going to be able to rewatch this video. I think that you're in a very good place. Be patient. And if you apply all of the advice that I gave throughout this video, good things are going to happen. Okay. Sanshita says, my ex blocked me. And they say that it's impossible for us to get back together. Blocked me 8 days ago. Unblocked me yesterday, but didn't reach out. He lost feelings. Okay. So what I wanted to address this question because so many people say things at the time of a breakup that they don't necessarily mean, right? So your significant other will tell you things in the frustration of a moment or because they're reacting to your behavior. When you're overwhelming, when you are not giving them space, when you're not respecting their decision, they feel like they have to push back hard so that you will give them the space that they need. And oftentimes they feel like they have to be mean, they have to be direct because you're not getting the hints. And a lot of times they're right. But if you actually give them space, if you give them what they want, if you evolve, if you're working on yourself, if you change, the way that they see you will change too eventually, no doubt. And even, I see cases on a weekly basis when an ex says something, we're never getting back together, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, or, I need to work on me, or whatever it may be. And then weeks later, they're back together because the reality has changed, the landscape has changed. If this person is blocking you and blocking you after 8 days, there's a lot of emotions there. And I encourage you to take a step back and to let all that kind of simmer for a bit. Okay, A1 Neil, you're spamming the chat, which is not good. So I'm not going to answer your questions. Please don't do that. that's not considerate of everyone else. Okay, Stephen Cole. All right, Stephen Cole is annoyed by our chat, probably because of A1 meal. Okay. Sarah Michelle says, what do you think about situationships? I was dating her for 2 years, but she couldn't commit or fall in love. She always had an ex in the back of her mind. I'm 7 days in no contact. Is that okay? Yeah, it's definitely okay. You need to make sure that you're valuing yourself. You need to walk away so that she can value you, so that she can appreciate everything that you have to offer. Perhaps you were too flexible. Perhaps you lowered your values out of fear of losing her, and so she took you for granted. That's usually the dynamic that I see. So please make sure that you give her space, you focus on you. She'll come around, because there's a reason why you guys were together for all this time, and I'm sure that she will come around, as long as you value yourself too. Stay true to your values. Okay, my baby is crying downstairs. I have a feeling that my wife needs my help, and so I want to be a considerate husband. I'm only going to take a couple more, then I'm going to have to go, but we'll do this again soon if you guys want. Okay. Okay, and Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Okay, I'm going to take a couple more questions. Okay, Jay said, should I help him out financially at this time, since I know he needs it? Or should I just let him be and let him struggle to give him a chance to realize how I was there for him? Fantastic question. Fantastic question. I love it. So this is where you need to use your good judgment. You finding balance. Everything that I talked about in the first part of our call. You want to have compassion and you want to have empathy. If you know that your significant other cannot eat, for example, or they're struggling, show that you're there for them. But at the same time, you don't want them to take advantage of you. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, cut them off. Do not give them a penny. So you need to use your judgment and your head, and not let your emotions get the best of you. If you're acting out of emotion and impulse, and you have a feeling that you're being taken advantage of, or you're putting them on a pedestal, it's going to be really, really difficult for you. So trust yourself and your judgment. Okay. Joanna Petri says, my ex's WhatsApp status is assume everyone will betray you and you will never be disappointed. So this is a test. They're seeking your attention for sure. Don't give them that attention and validation. Jaren says, do I send my ex masks and gloves? It depends on the situation. Sometimes it's probably a little bit too much. They'll feel like you're mothering them or babying them, and that's not what you want to do. But in some cases, if they're desperately looking for that item and you're in touch and you know they're looking for it, sure, help them out. Why not? Okay, I'm going to take one more question, and then I'm going to go help my wife, who is struggling with 2 kids downstairs, 2 little ones. Can you give your specials against, please, JA? Yeah, sure. Here it is. You can find this link here, and I'm also going to put it at the bottom of the description below the video. This is the last question. Kunal, how do I make my ex realize that I'm a better person, and how should I make her miss me basically during quarantine? It's everything that we talked about in this video. Maybe you came late. I hope you were paying attention. But it goes back to that concept of being your best self, right? If you can't force the issue. Think in terms of positioning yourself in a way so that your ex has to chase you, so that your significant other values you, not taking on that ownership all by yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed this live. Next time I'll convince Natalie to come on, so I know you guys love Natalie too. And we'll try to do this at least, to update you guys every couple of weeks at least, when we can. Thank you so much for the kind words, my English tutor and Hash. We try to do as much as we can to be there for you and to support you guys. It's not an easy situation. So thank you, Erica. Thank you, Zaira. Thank you, all you guys. Please stay safe. And we're here. You know, we're here. We'll have more content on Happily Committed, more content on Love Advice TV, more blog articles on all sites, and take advantage of this discount because they're high quality products, and you're going to be able to get a lot out of it. Bring Alex Como too, Ricky says, with his accent, please. So, Mr. Alex Como, you will have to do one of those as well. Thank you guys for all the love. Really, it means a lot. Keep fighting the good fight, as I always say, and stay safe to you and yours. Bye-bye.